18:3. This is what the gospel is all about. You humbling down because you admit that you lost conscience. Right? What's your nationality again? Give me Deuteronomy 28:15. Now I'm going to show you an Israelite, bro. Because usually that's the angle we all go. You know what I'm saying? We like to teach our people who they are. And why are we at the bottom? Why are we in America right now? What are we even doing here? Is this our homeland? So how did we get here to America? You understand? If we from Northeast Africa, because that is the homeland, why are we here in America? How did we get brought here to America if we from Northeast Africa? Watch this, I'm gonna show you. Deuteronomy 28:15.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15.
Read verse 1.
Verse 1.
Yep.
And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments.
So the Lord said, if we shall hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God. So Moses is talking to our forefathers in the wilderness. He was talking to the leaders of Israel in the wilderness. Because the Lord, he just don't deal with everybody. He deal with the leaders. Watch this. Get Deuteronomy 27:1. I'm going to show you.
Deuteronomy chapter 27 verse 1. And Moses with the elders of Israel.
With who?
The elders of Israel commanded the people, saying, keep all the commandments which I command you this day.
So Moses went up to go deal with the Most High. He came down with the commandments. Then Moses dealt with the leaders of the people. You see that? Moses dealt with the leaders of our people. You ain't gonna see Moses just going dealing with random people and say, look, I want you to do this and then go teach them. No, he's gonna make sure he's setting men in place. He's gonna make sure he's setting men in place so he can teach the leaders to teach the people up under them. You understand? So that's what's going on right now. Moses is teaching the leaders of our forefathers, and this is what our leaders was teaching us. Watch this. Read verse 15. Finish verse 1 again. I'm sorry. Read verse 1 again.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently.
It shall hearken. Hearken means, the root word of hearken is here. Meaning if we listen diligently, if we focus and understand what Moses is telling us, read.
Unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
The voice of the Lord thy God is the Bible, read.
To observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day.
So that's what we're supposed to be observing to do. To keep his commandments. To keep his commandments. Watch how the Lord deal with us when we keeping his commandments. Read.
That the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
So are you keeping God's commandments? You're not keeping his commandments. And you honest, because I know before this Bible was coming out, I was wicked and I wasn't keeping God's commandments. When I first heard the Bible, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm not keeping no commandments. I know that for sure. But watch this. The Lord said if you keep his commandments, he's going to set you high above all nations. What is that called today? A God. He said you're going to be a God if you keep the commandments. That's what he's telling you. Watch this. Read verse 15. So are you a God right now? Are you creating the laws? Are you creating the laws today? No. So you're not a God. You a servant today. You understand? You pay taxes. Don't you got to go to another nation for water? We don't have our own wells to where we create water. We have our own clothing line. The back of your shirt say made in China, made in Taiwan.
Right.
What about a driver's license? You got to go to DMV. You own the DMV? No, we don't own the DMV. No, I'm cool. All right, read verse 15. Watch this. So we established that we're not a God right now, even though we come from a lineage of kings and priests. Yes, that's our potential, but when we're not keeping the commandments, you're not a God. You understand? Watch this. This is the flip side. This is the flip side to the covenant. Read that.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
So what's going to come to pass if we don't listen to God, if we don't keep the commandments? Because if we kept the commandments, the first part of the covenant, what did he say? We will be gods. We'll be above all people. Read on.
To observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So if we don't keep the commandments, the Lord said all these curses that come upon us and overtake us. So now we're going to read some curses, which is the prophecy. That's two things you cannot fight with. History and prophecy. That's just two things you cannot fight with. You can't argue that.
Right.
You understand? So we're going to read you some prophecies that's going to match up with our history to show that we the Israelites are not African American. Watch this. Read verse 68.
Deuteronomy.
1 second. Go ahead, read.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
The Lord said he's going to bring us into Egypt again. So this isn't talking about physical Egypt. You understand? It's not talking about the landmass, but what was the Israelites' occupation in Egypt? They were slaves. We were slaves. We was building the pyramids. We was doing all the hard bondage. You understand? Pharaoh was not our leader, but he was our main oppressor in Egypt. We were slaves in Egypt. So the Lord said, you're going to go into Egypt again. You understand? So you're going to go, I'm going to show you what Egypt means. Get Deuteronomy 5 and 6. Stay in Deuteronomy. Oh, you can get that too. You're already there. Come on.
Exodus chapter 20 and verse 2. I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt.
What is the land of Egypt?
Out of the house of bondage.
What does Egypt mean?
Out of the house of bondage.
What does Egypt mean?
House of bondage.
So Egypt means house of bondage, meaning slavery. We were slaves in Egypt. House of bondage, meaning tied down, restriction. We were slaves. You understand? Let's go back. Deuteronomy 28 and 68. Yep.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
So the Lord said he's going to bring you into slavery again, because Moses just delivered us out of Egypt. But he said in the future, as a future prophecy, you gonna go into slavery again. Our people were so rebellious, Isaac. Moses had to prophesy about our people going into slavery again because we're so rebellious to his commandments. That's a rebellious, stiff-necked people. Right. When the Lord said, if you just keep the commandments, you're gonna be gods. That's what he said. Watch, I want to grab something real quick. Get up 1 Samuel chapter 4 and start at verse 7. I'm gonna show you that these other nations know you are God.
Right.
I'm gonna show you that these other nations know you are God. Watch this. 1 Samuel chapter 4, start at verse 7. Verse 7. Watch this, Isaac.
1 Samuel chapter 4 and verse 7. Yep. And the Philistines were afraid, for they said, God is come into the camp.
You see that? So the Philistines is another nation. You know David and Goliath? So David was an Israelite. Goliath was a Philistine. So we think the white man is our main enemy since the beginning. No. Us and the Africans always been arch enemies. You understand? But watch what the Philistines said. They are your real Africans today. They're your real Africans. Watch. Read that again.
And the Philistines were afraid, for they said, God is come into the camp.
So the Philistines understand that the true living God has come into their camp. Watch this. Read.
And they said, woe unto us, for there hath not been such a thing heretofore.
So they said, look, it hasn't been such a thing that come into the camp like this before. We ain't never seen this before. It says, the real God has come into the camp. Watch this, read.
Verse 8, woe unto us, who shall deliver us out of the hand of these mighty gods?
Read from the top.
Woe unto us, who shall deliver us out of the hand of these mighty gods.
So the Philistines know who is going to deliver us out of the mighty hand of these guys. If our God is a God, what does that make us? The children of God. Right. We are gods. And these other nations know you are God. They understand that. They was bringing up the Philistines was bringing up the history of what was going on in Egypt. They understood your history. It's just it's us that we don't know who we are. We don't know we God's chosen people. We don't know we're the Israelites. We don't know we're God. Right. But these other nations know that. Watch. Go back. Deuteronomy 28, 68.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68. Yeah. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
Slavery.
With ships.
With what?
With ships.
How did we get here to America? How did we get here to America, Isaac? With cargo slave ships. This is your history. This Bible is your history book. Cargo slave ships to be sold. A cargo.
Bring it out.
Negroes.
Right.
This is a history book picture.
Bring it out.
This is your history. You understand?
Teach
and
out.
your history is matching up with the prophecies in the Bible.
Right.
And the Lord said it's going to happen to the Israelites.
Right.
You understand? So the Lord said the Israelites are going to go into slavery again with ships. You got rough. This is in Egypt. Well, this is. Say that again.
So this is like Egypt you're talking about?
Right. So the same way we were serving hard bondage in ancient Egypt is the same way we serving hard bondage here in America.
Right.
You understand?
Bring it out.
So the Lord said, where I'm going to scatter you on slave ships, you're going to be in slavery there. That's what he's telling you.
Right.
Read it again from the top.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
Slavery again.
With ships.
Same way you was in slavery, serving hard bondages in ancient Egypt. Here in America, you're gonna be brought here on cargo slave ships, serving hard bondage as a slave.
Right.
Read on.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee.
By the way Moses told us it was gonna happen, didn't we get brought here on slave ships and we serving hard bondage? Yes. You understand? Read on.
Thou shalt see it no more again.
You're not going to see your homeland no more again. So I gave you a hint. Our homeland is in Northeast Africa. What is in Northeast Africa? Get Galatians. Galatians 4:26. All right, so you learned it a little bit today, man. And right here, we're here to plant the seed so you stay in contact with us. We got a school in Rancho Cordova. You guys chosen people, and the Lord is showing you that through His prophecy. We're not out here singing and dancing and playing the harp. We're not doing that. This is straight Bible scripture, and I can see that's the only reason why you're here. Because the Bible coming out. Watch this. Read that.
Galatians 4:20, chapter 4, verse 26. Yeah. But Jerusalem.
But what?
But Jerusalem. Which is above is free, which is the mother of us all.
So, Isaac, Jerusalem is the motherland, which is the mother of us all. You understand? Which is the mother of us all. Go back to Deuteronomy 28:68. Read it from the top.
Deuteronomy 28:68. Yeah. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
The Lord said He was going to bring us into slavery again with ships. Read on.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee. Yeah. Thou shalt see it no more again.
You're not going to ever see your homeland again. You're not going to go back to Jerusalem again. Read on.
And there,
when you get off them slave ships, read on.
Ye shall be sold.
Shall be what?
Shall be sold unto your enemies.
The Lord said you're going to be sold unto your enemies. Look at this. The Lord said you're going to be sold unto your enemies. Look at this. You know what He's talking about? That's auction blocks. Right. We're going to be sold on auction blocks.
We used to scream black power while heroin was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission, minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road. Purple and gold, from Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.